And that has to be one of the simplest chassis jigs out there, but it's going to work really well. Righto, so we've got this jig all dummied up, so just starting on pinching these rails in to suit this 27 roads to body. So starting to look like something, but it's going to take a while. It's going to be a big job, and because we're building 3 of these cars, watch this space. We've got one of the rails needs to come in a good 10 mil on one side, the right hand rear. So what we'll do, we've just tacked a piece of box to the back of the bench, and then hopefully this will just pull it across. Oh, that's easy, mate. Piece of cake. Tell me when, Donnie.
Hit it.
Say when. So that's the front end just sitting in, just purely hanging off the transverse leaf spring. So what these run is just one leaf spring running sideways across the car. From there, a couple of shock mounts. We've got to run some 4 bars back to the chassis rails. We'll show you that when it's all done. So that's all the shock mounts tacked in. Now I'm just having a play with the lower arm on the front. This is the stock bracket, which is actually a bit shorter than most, you'll find, but it's still a bit tall for my liking. So I've just taken 25 mil off to see what it looks like on that side. And the angle of that, when it's at its true ride height, which is about an inch away now, will look quite good. So what I've done with these lower mounts, obviously I cut the 25 mil off just to lift them up into the rail a bit nicer, and I've made up a crush tube to keep them spread apart. Somehow now I'm going to have to make that part of the jig, so these mounts go on in the same place on every chassis. So what we have is this big 100 by 100 connected to this 25 by 25. This connected to the 16 mil tube that has our threaded rod go right through the 2 mounts at the rear. And then these 2 stoppers are purely there just to bring all that jig forward, and then that puts their mounts on the chassis in the same spot every time. So what we've got here is just another jig just for drilling these top pilot holes for the upper front bar. So that puts everything through nice and square. Long series drill bit makes that piece of cake. Well, that's all the bar stuff done. So panhard bars in as well. All them mounts worked out really good. I chopped 25 mil off the top of them brackets because they're hanging too low. That's better, mate. Look at that, it all lines up again. Oh, well done. So all the diffs sitting at right height. So hopefully we should be able to make some shock mounts off somewhere and hook everything up. You know, you're fucking clever, mate. Oh, fuck yeah. Now this is real fucking clever shit. Don't tell any of your mates. We've got the same jig, holding all that in the back, 89.7 on the back of the shock, 2 degrees built into the diff. That control arm is perfectly horizontal at ride height.
I don't know about drag wheels.
They're up alright.
What was on the wrong side?
That was a mission, mate. We just got to weld it up. The tacks on the top are a bit ugly, but that is just because it was quite tricky to get in there, but the steering shaft runs through everything with all the clearance, so that looks a lot better, man. That's good. Fucking heaps of room, mate. Far out, that's a clever piece of automotive engineering there, Donnie.
Yeah.
What does it do, mate?
Helps the engine.
The engine mounts on every chassis will be the same. So it ties in from the rear cross member, comes in off the steering box because we are close to that. But now all we do is make up a couple of little ears for those to the side of the rail. Oh, here's the first one with the floor and the tunnel and the notches for the front to sit on the chassis rail, and the modifications there, and the modifications to the boot. We're making life easy for you, mate. Brake lines are pretty much done. That one goes through a flex hose, up into the Wilwood master cylinder. On the front we've got Wilwood calipers, brake lines running through, nice and simple, but all this here's worked out really nice. No booster required. How does our door open, Donnie?
Just like that.
Oh, how does it close, Donnie? Oh, look at that. The fucking big wheels you got there, mate. I think we need a bigger shed, mate. Well, another massive week, all good fun, got a fair bit achieved. We've got brake pedals and master cylinders on every car. We've started the steeling out work. We've got motors in every car. Everything is playing the game. We'll have 3 full cars one day. I reckon we've designed the best little alternator mount for little short water pumps. So Ford Motorsport water pump uses V-bout, uses a stock Ford alternator and gets it in right next to the block. Power cables there, light wires there. You will not get one that sits down at that mid-height any better than that. So the story with these cars are basically they're sold as a body chassis kit. So known as a kit car as such. There's plenty of different cars out there on the market. There's GT40s, there's AC Cobras, there's 32 Roadsters, there's hundreds of different kit cars out there. Now what we've done, we've designed these in such a way the chassis comes with all the mounting points for suspension. We can put the motor mounts in. The rear diff you buy off the shelf and it bolts straight into points that are already on the chassis. So most kit cars out there, they don't come with a lot of that stuff, especially in the hot rod world. So guys buy them thinking they're on their way, and then they soon realise that without having a little bit of knowledge with stuff like that, there's a fair bit of work in it. So we've taken all that hard work out. Now, just a basic rundown on what they actually use. So the chassis is obviously something we make. Now they start off as a couple of rails, stamped rails they're called, from a 32 Ford. What we do, we've made a jig, that's all welded together with the K-frame in the middle. And then basically it uses the old school I-beam front that was around for hundreds of years and still around on a lot of trucks and bits and pieces. It's got a 4-bar front, which are then 2 shiny bars there. It's obviously got a shock absorber. It's got a transverse leaf spring, so just one leaf spring that hides under that rail. And apart from that, a set of Wilwood brakes on the front, and pretty simple stuff. The steering box is just a little, I think they call them a Vegas steering unit. Now we've set all 3 cars up with a 302 Windsor or 289 Windsor, small block Ford engine, and a C4 automatic transmission. We'll have 3 completely different cars here that we're building. We've got this one for a customer, this one I'm doing for myself, and this one here is probably going to be one of the coolest looking little ones out there. It's running these big 20 by 10 wheels on the back and some 17 by 7s on the front. So all these bodies come with functioning boot lids and doors. As you can see in there, it's just got a 3mm aluminium floor in the back with a fuel tank we just modified, put a couple of brackets on the side, and that fits in there nicely. They're not the biggest car to get into, but they're still a lot of fun and they're easy to build. That's why we've chosen these. One of the biggest things we've learnt building the kit cars we have is the amount of work that ends up being in a door, believe it or not. You think a door can't be that hard, it's just got to open and close. But the problem with a lot of full-size cars with roofs, you've got to have a door, obviously, with central locking in it. You've got to have power windows in it. It's got to be hinged. It's got to have a lot of different things going on. Glass, door glass is a big one. It can take a lot of time to set that stuff up, especially when you're building a car from scratch. So basically, the beauty with one of these, someone can buy a body chassis in it. So basically, all they get is this chassis, they get the body all mounted on, doors opening, boot opening, and then they can take it home and look at it for 3 weeks. And whenever they're ready to go, they can buy a front end and it all bolts straight in. There's nothing they have to do. All these points are there, there's no welding, there's no cutting anything, it's purely bolted in. So it allows a average guy that just wants something to build to be able to go and do that without outlaying 50 grand in one hit. Now, something to remember with these cars, even with a stock small block Ford that only produces 200 horsepower, these things are pretty fast because they only weigh 800 to 900 kilo finished. So this little engine has about 350 horsepower. It's a Ford Motorsport crate engine. So with that, it'd be quite a scary little car, I'd imagine. I might have to get Dan to put it down the quarter mile. I'm not doing it. Let me know in the comments if you reckon Dan can handle the I-beam front end and 350 horsepower on a drag strip. So like I said, the next thing you guys will see, hopefully, is this chassis all painted. From there, we'll show you all the other bits and pieces and how they bolt on. What do you reckon of the colour, Donnie?
Pretty close, pretty good.
Pretty close to the wheels. That's what we wanted. Now, this is step one. The chassis has been painted. From here, all we have to do is start bolting everything on. So join along. We'll show you in what order we'd probably do it. This is our first one going together for a while, so we might be a bit rusty. But we'll see. Righto, let's start with the front end. This is the best bit. You guys know we love this paint. The old engine enamel, semi-gloss black, and we just spray it on everything. Nice and simple. You don't have to send everything to the paint shop if you don't want to. You can make it as fancy or as rough as you want it to be. A little bit of Loctite on these bolts for the steering box. Keeps the cap screws nice and neat. So we're just doing the front of the cross member black before we start, just because we know when we paint the radiator black, we're going to see that piece under it, so we don't want that to stand out. Right, all the brake lines are fitted up, all riveted on to the side of the chassis rail through there. So master cylinder and everything, bolts straight in under the floor. We've got our flex lines to go once we put all the suspension in. Oh, that's the first part of the high-tech suspension in, the leaf spring that goes across the car. So pretty simple setup, the stuff. Now we'll move on to probably the I-beam. Doesn't get any flashier than this, mate. Just having a play with another skirt thing on the bottom, another roll pan. So that's another one laid up, sitting on top of another one. So there's two there. Honestly, man, it makes the car look 50 times better. I reckon we've got to make a plug and a new mould for that.
Cool.
Are we mixing some paint, mate?
Ooh, that is dark.
A couple of test spots. British Racing Green, is it? Or what's this one?
Volkswagen Racing Green.
Volkswagen Racing Green. It still sounds pretty British to me.
That is dark, eh? Why use a spray gun? We can use a brush.
Yeah, well, don't stop there, mate. Just get over and start putting it on the body.
You got some pinstripes on the sleeker.
Yeah, you can do a couple of test bits on the body if you want. Oh, it's definitely a bit lighter, that one, isn't it? What's this one called?
This is Suzuki Swift Green.
Suzuki Swift Green.
Both colours are from early 90s.
What do you guys reckon? Which one would you go? That one... Oh. Far out, Donnie. Why'd you pick this colour, mate? This colour's pretty full on. Is it going to look alright compared to the other two? Stay with us and you'll find out. The spray booth's fired up. Donnie's on the gun again. What a colour, mate. What a colour. Oh, getting all trimmed up. SS trimming, here we go. Now I've wired them all up this week. We've actually got this one fired up, which is quite exciting. That's my own one. We got 2 for customers. So they're starting to come along. We've got a body at the paint shop, should be coming back in a week or 2, and then we'll keep swapping them over and try and get them done as soon as we can. Here's proof we're running it in, mate. Oh, Stefano SS trimming, he's doing a wonderful job in here. What's the tricks of the trade, mate?
Not telling.
Couple of quiet beers before you try and sew the lines straight, you reckon? Oh, no mucking around at SS trimming. We've got door cards, we've got kick panels. We're even going to put a pocket in the front left kick panel. Not bad, mate, not bad. You done this before? Oh, we'll jump straight to the trimming part. The part that makes the car look like a real car. Oh, that hides the back of the seat, Stefano. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Bit of floss on the back. Got to get the floss on the back of your seat. Oh, it's getting close. It's looking real good. First car's nearly together. Second car's back from the paint shop. So hopefully we can smack this one together. Oh, this is fun, Stefano. We're building hot rods, mate. It's starting to look pretty good. $893 kilo, 350 horsepower, nearly 50-50 too. Waiting on the steering wheel and then it's all done. So finally all together. Oh, this is pretty gangster.
Well, that was interesting.
Break it down.